Dr. Elena Chen stood motionless before the quantum monitoring array, her dark eyes fixed on the stream of data flooding her holographic display. The patterns didn't make sense, or rather, they made too much sense. Natural phenomena didn't create signals this ordered, this precise. She'd been tracking these anomalies for weeks now, each day bringing new evidence that humanity wasn't alone in the cosmos. The Quantum Research Institute's underground facility hummed with the sound of cooling systems keeping the quantum computers at optimal temperature. Elena's fingers danced across the holographic interface, applying new filtering algorithms to the incoming data. The signal source was moving, maintaining a consistent orbit just beyond Mars. "Director Matthews," she called out, her voice steady despite the gravity of her discovery. "I think you need to see this." James Matthews crossed the room in long strides, his silver hair catching the blue light of the monitoring stations. He'd been directing the QRI for 15 years, but Elena had never seen him move this quickly. "Talk to me, Dr. Chen. The quantum fluctuations we've been tracking, they're not random. Look at this pattern." She gestured, expanding a particular segment of the data stream. "It's a scanning beam, Director. Someone's studying us." Matthew's expression remained neutral, but Elena caught the subtle tightening around his eyes. "How long?" "Based on the data degradation in our archived readings, they've been watching us for at least 6 months. Elena pulled up another display, showing the signal's origin points. "And they're not alone. I've identified 3 distinct sources, all maintaining geosynchronous positions around Earth's orbital plane." The director nodded slowly, then did something Elena had never seen before. He pulled a small device from his pocket, pressed his thumb against it, and spoke clearly. "Watchmaker Protocol. Authorization Matthews 7 Delta 9. The facility's lights shifted to a deep purple, and every screen in the room displayed a simple message. "Protocol acknowledged." "Dr. Chen," Matthews said, his voice taking on a formal tone, "what I'm about to tell you has been classified above top secret for the past 30 years. What you've discovered isn't our first contact with the Varaxian Empire. We've known they were coming for decades." Elena's mind raced. The quantum defense projects, the orbital platforms, all part of a long-term strategy. "The Varaxians are expansionists, Dr. Chen. They consider themselves the supreme civilization in this arm of the galaxy. Their standard procedure is to observe a potential conquest, assess their technological level, and then offer them a choice: submission or annihilation. But our technology—" Elena began, then stopped as understanding dawned. "We've been hiding it. All the public displays of primitive rockets, the deliberate maintenance of outdated satellites." Matthews smiled grimly. "Operation Paper Tiger. We've spent 30 years convincing any watching eyes that humanity is barely past the atomic age. Every major nation has participated in the deception. Those old-style rockets, their shells, hiding quantum drive systems. Those primitive satellites, each one contains more computing power than we publicly admit exists on the entire planet." A new alert flashed across Elena's display. "Director, the signals are changing. The scanning frequency just increased by an order of magnitude. They're moving to the next phase." Matthews activated a facility-wide communication channel. "All personnel, this is Director Matthews. Initialize Project Shadowbox. This is not a drill." The facility transformed around them. Hidden panels slid away, revealing banks of quantum computers that had been running silent for years. The holographic displays expanded, showing a real-time map of the solar system with dozens of previously invisible defense installations suddenly highlighted. "Dr. Chen, you're now the lead scientist for Project Shadowbox's Quantum Detection Division. Your job is to maintain our technological camouflage while monitoring the Varaxian fleet's movements. They think they're watching us, but we've been watching them for far longer than they realize." Elena's fingers were already moving across the interface, accessing systems she never knew existed. The quantum computers responded instantly to her commands, their processing power far beyond anything publicly acknowledged. Their scan patterns suggest they're looking for specific technological signatures: nuclear weapons, primitive AI, basic space flight capability. Give them exactly what they expect to see, Matthews ordered. Let them think they're dealing with a primitive species barely able to reach their own moon. The Varaxians pride themselves on their technological superiority. It's their greatest weakness. Across the solar system, humanity's hidden defenses continued their silent vigil. Quantum-cloaked satellites tracked the alien observers while appearing to be nothing more than simple communication relays. Bases on Mars and Europa maintained their disguise as small research outposts, while housing fleets of advanced warships. And deep beneath Earth's oceans, automated factories produced weapons that would make the Varaxians question everything they thought they knew about human capabilities. Alina watched as new data poured in from quantum sensors throughout the solar system. The Varaxian ships were massive, each one larger than anything humanity had publicly admitted to building. But size wasn't everything, and humanity had learned long ago that appearing weak could be the greatest strength. "How long have we really been preparing?" she asked, not taking her eyes off the displays. Matthews stood beside her, watching the alien ships continue their scans. "Since the first signals were detected in 1993, we knew someone was out there, and we knew they were looking for easy conquests. Instead of broadcasting our achievements to the stars, we decided to wait, to prepare. Every major scientific breakthrough of the past 3 decades has been carefully hidden behind a facade of normal technological progression." A new alert caught Alina's attention. "Director, they're launching probes toward Earth's atmosphere." "Right on schedule," Matthews nodded. "Send the alert to all stations. Operation Paper Tiger enters its final phase in 3 hours. Dr. Chen, welcome to humanity's real space program. Let's show our visitors exactly what they expect to see. Nothing more, nothing less." As Alina worked, she couldn't help but smile. The Varaxians thought they were studying a primitive species, but they were about to learn a harsh lesson about the dangers of underestimating humanity. Sometimes, the best defense wasn't a strong shield or a powerful weapon. It was making your enemy believe you had neither. The game of deception had begun, and humanity had been practicing for decades. The Varaxians were about to discover that appearances could be deceiving, and that the most dangerous predator was the one that convinced you it was prey. Commander Sarah West stood on the observation deck of the primitive International Space Station, watching Earth rotate beneath her. To any outside observer, she appeared to be conducting routine maintenance on outdated solar panels. In reality, she was overseeing the final calibration of the station's quantum weapon systems, hidden beneath decades of carefully crafted camouflage. "Varaxian flagship detected," her neural interface whispered. "Approaching diplomatic broadcast range." Sarah allowed herself a small smile. Everything was proceeding according to the decades-old playbook. She tapped her neural link, connecting to the Global Defense Network. "All stations, maintain current protocols. Let's give our guests the show they're expecting." The Varaxian ship emerged from behind Earth's moon, its crystalline structure catching sunlight in ways that would have seemed magical to a truly primitive species. It was massive, nearly 4 kilometers long, and designed to intimidate. Sarah noted with satisfaction that their sensors were still only detecting the ISS's disguised exterior. "Attention primitive vessel," the transmission began, broadcasting on simple radio frequencies. "This is Supreme Commander Vex of the Varaxian Empire. Your planet has been selected for integration into our glorious civilization." Sarah activated the station's basic communication system, making sure to add appropriate levels of static and interference. "This is International Space Station. We're a peaceful research platform. Please identify your intentions." In the quantum-shielded command center beneath the Himalayas, General Michael Torres watched the exchange with calculated satisfaction. Holographic displays showed the positions of every Varaxian vessel, while quantum sensors revealed their shield frequencies, weapon systems, and communication protocols. 30 years of observation had given humanity every advantage. "Status report," he commanded. "All systems maintaining cover, sir," his executive officer responded. Lunar defense grid shows green, Mars fleet standing by, and the Europa base remains undetected. The Varaxians are still reading us at pre-quantum technology levels. The general nodded, watching as more Varaxian ships emerged from hyperspace. "And Project Nightfall. Ready for deployment on your command. Quantum destabilizers are primed and targeting data has been distributed to all hidden platforms." On the surface, Earth's militaries put on an elaborate show of panic. Jets with hidden quantum cores scrambled from bases, appearing to be simple chemical-powered aircraft. Radar stations broadcast their findings on easily intercepted frequencies, while the real quantum detection grid silently mapped every detail of the Varaxian fleet. In New York, the United Nations General Assembly convened an emergency session. Representatives from every nation played their parts perfectly, expressing shock and fear at the alien arrival. Decades of preparation had taught humanity the value of appearing weak when you were strong. The Varaxian commander's hologram materialized above the UN podium, its crystalline form towering over the assembled delegates. "People of Earth," the translation echoed through the chamber, "your civilization stands at a crossroads. The Varaxian Empire brings order to chaos, advancement to the primitive. Submit, and you will be elevated. Resist, and you will be eliminated." In her quantum lab, Alina Chen monitored the Varaxian transmission frequencies. "Director Matthews, they're broadcasting on exactly the bands we predicted. Their encryption matches all our simulations." "Perfect," Matthews replied. "Continue monitoring. Let's see if they follow the rest of the pattern." Above the planet, Sarah West received new orders through her quantum link. The ISS's hidden systems were detecting additional Varaxian ships arriving. Exactly as planned. Each new arrival provided more tactical data, more confirmation of their technical capabilities, more proof that humanity's long deception was working. "Supreme Commander," she transmitted, allowing fear to color her voice, "we are a peaceful station. We have no weapons, no defenses. Please, we're scientists, not soldiers." The Varaxian response came quickly. "Your primitive facility will not be harmed if you comply. Maintain your orbit and prepare for inspection. Resistance is futile against the Empire." Deep beneath the Pacific Ocean, the quantum manufacturing facilities continued their silent work. Nanoscale weapons designed to target specific frequencies in Varaxian technology were being produced by the millions. Orbital platforms disguised as debris quietly adjusted their positions, preparing for the moment when humanity would reveal its true capabilities. General Torres received confirmation that the last civilian populations have been evacuated to the underground arcologies, massive cities hidden from alien sensors. On the surface, holographic projections maintained the appearance of normal human activity in major cities. "Sir," his executive officer reported, "the Varaxian fleet is deploying in standard conquest formation. They're following every tactical pattern we've observed in their previous conquests." Torres allowed himself a grim smile. 30 years of preparation, and they haven't deviated once from predicted behavior. Humanity's greatest advantage has always been our ability to adapt, to deceive, to prepare for threats before they arrive. The Varaxians are about to learn why you should never judge a species by its apparent limitations. In orbit, Sarah West continued her act of a frightened scientist as Varaxian shuttle approached the ISS. Behind her practiced fear, she was already receiving tactical updates from the station's true systems. Every detail of the approaching vessel was being analyzed, compared to existing data, and distributed through the quantum network to defense installations throughout the solar system. The game was entering its final phase. Humanity had spent decades preparing for this moment, hiding its true capabilities behind a carefully constructed mask of technological inferiority. Soon, the Varaxians would learn that their greatest mistake wasn't choosing to invade Earth, it was believing what they saw on the surface. The Varaxian inspection shuttle docked with the International Space Station exactly as humanity's strategists had predicted. Supreme Commander Vex had chosen to personally lead the inspection, another move anticipated by decades of studying their species' behavioral patterns. Their arrogance would be their downfall. Commander Sarah West waited at the airlock, her expression carefully crafted to show appropriate levels of anxiety and awe. Behind her eyes, quantum-enhanced neural implants fed her constant updates from Earth's hidden defense grid. Everything was in position. The airlock cycled, and 3 Varaxians ducked through the human-sized opening. Their crystalline armor caught the station's lights, refracting them in complex patterns. Supreme Commander Vex stood nearly 3 meters tall, his translucent exoskeleton housing visible energy conduits that pulsed with power. "Your species' technological poverty is evident," Vex announced, his translation device broadcasting in harsh tones. "This station is barely more advanced than orbital debris." Sarah bowed her head submissively, while her neural implants recorded every detail of their armor's energy signatures. "We are honored by your presence, Supreme Commander. Would you like a tour of our humble facility?" Deep beneath the Himalayas, General Torres watched the encounter through Sarah's quantum-linked feeds. "All units, prepare for Phase 3 initialization. Activation on my mark." The Varaxian inspection proceeded exactly as planned. They scanned the station's apparent systems with their advanced technology, finding exactly what humanity wanted them to find: outdated computers, primitive life support, and basic research equipment. The quantum technology hidden beneath these facades remained undetected. "Your species' resistance would be futile," Vex declared, gesturing at Earth visible through a viewport. "We detected your attempt to encrypt military communications, your primitive missile launches. Accept our dominion, and we will guide you into a more civilized existence." In her quantum lab, Alina Chen monitored the Varaxian fleet's movements. Their ships had positioned themselves in a standard conquest formation, preparing for what they thought would be a simple demonstration of power. "Director Matthews, they're charging weapons. Energy signatures match our predictions exactly." "Perfect," Matthews replied. "Relay the confirmation to General Torres. It's time to show them why you should never judge a book by its cover." On the station, Sarah noticed the subtle shift in Vex's posture that indicated he was receiving orders. "Right on schedule. Your time to choose has ended," the Supreme Commander announced. "We will now demonstrate the consequences of hesitation. Observe as we neutralize your planet's largest military installation." Through the viewport, a massive Varaxian dreadnought moved into position over the North American continent. Its main weapon began to glow with gathered energy, targeting what their scans showed as a concentration of Earth's military force. General Torres smiled. "They're targeting the holographic base. All units, execute Phase 3. Authorization code. Sleeping Giant." Across the solar system, humanity's web began to tighten. Quantum signals activated dormant systems hidden throughout the Varaxian fleet. Microscopic machines that had been systematically introduced through their inspections came to life. The trap was sprung. On the station, Sarah straightened from her submissive pose. "Supreme Commander Vex, before you proceed, I should introduce myself properly. I am Commander Sarah West of the Earth Defense Force, and you are now in custody." The station's hidden systems activated. Quantum fields sprang to life, freezing the Varaxians in place. Their advanced armor, designed to resist any known weapon, proved useless against technology they hadn't known existed. "Impossible." Vex struggled against the quantum field. "Your species is primitive. Your technology is basic. We scanned everything." "You scanned what we wanted you to scan," Sarah replied. "Humanity learned long ago that the best way to survive in a hostile universe was to hide our true capabilities. You're not the first advanced species we've detected, Supreme Commander, just the first to make the mistake of actually attacking us." In orbit, the Varaxian dreadnought fired its main weapon at the holographic military base. The energy beam passed through the projection, hitting nothing but empty desert. Before they could react, quantum fields activated around every Varaxian ship, disrupting their systems with precise, calculated efficiency. Alina's quantum lab hummed with activity as she coordinated the technological assault. Direct hits confirmed on all targets. Their shields are operating exactly within predicted parameters. Quantum destabilizers are having the expected effect. Across the solar system, humanity's hidden forces revealed themselves. The Mars Research Outpost shed its camouflage, revealing a massive military installation. The Europa base launched its fleet of quantum-powered warships. Even the asteroid belt came alive as mining ships transformed into weapon platforms. "You see, Supreme Commander," Sarah continued, watching the Varaxians' crystalline features shift from confidence to shock. "Humanity has had 30 years to prepare for this moment. Every scan you made, every weakness you thought you found, was carefully crafted to draw you into this position. Your entire invasion fleet is now trapped in our quantum web." General Torres opened a channel to all Varaxian ships. "This is General Michael Torres of the Earth Defense Force. Your weapons are disabled, your shields are compromised, and your communications are under our control. The question now isn't whether Earth will submit to the Varaxian Empire. The question is whether the Empire is wise enough to surrender before we demonstrate our full capabilities." In the quantum lab, Alina watched as 30 years of preparation paid off. The Varaxians had never considered that a seemingly primitive species could have developed technology that surpassed their own. Their assumption of superiority had blinded them to the web being woven around them, strand by quantum strand. The war was over before it had truly begun, won not through superior firepower or brute force, but through patience, preparation, and the careful cultivation of underestimation. Humanity had learned the greatest lesson of survival in the cosmos. Sometimes, the best predator is the one that convinces its prey it isn't a predator at all. Supreme Commander Vex's crystalline features reflected the chaos unfolding through the station's viewports. His mighty invasion fleet, pride of the Varaxian Empire, hung motionless in Earth's orbit, ensnared in webs of quantum energy they hadn't known existed. But the Empire hadn't conquered 1,000 worlds by surrendering at the first sign of resistance. "Emergency protocols," he barked into his communication crystal. "Initiate emergency jump sequences." Alina Chen's fingers danced across her quantum interfaces as she tracked the Varaxian response. "They're attempting to activate their faster-than-light drives, Director." "Exactly as predicted." "Execute containment protocol," Matthews ordered. "Show them why we let them get this close." Throughout the solar system, hidden quantum arrays activated. The fabric of space-time itself seemed to shiver as humanity's true technological capabilities revealed themselves. The Varaxian ship's emergency jump attempts failed, their exotic matter drives unable to pierce the quantum barrier now surrounding Earth's orbital space. General Torres watched from his command center as the next phase began. "All units, commence Operation Thunderstrike. Show them what 30 years of preparation really means." From beneath the Pacific Ocean, massive structures began to rise. What the Varaxians had dismissed as deep-sea thermal vents revealed themselves as launch platforms for humanity's quantum fleet. Ships that had been hidden beneath the waves took to the sky, their hulls rippling with energy fields far beyond anything the Varaxians had developed. "Impossible," Vex whispered, watching through the station's windows. "Your species, you couldn't have hidden this level of technology." "Our scans." "Your scans showed exactly what we wanted them to show," Sarah West replied, standing confidently before her prisoners. "Did you really think humanity would broadcast its true capabilities to the cosmos? We learned long ago that survival in this galaxy meant keeping our strongest cards hidden." In orbit, the battle unfolded with mechanical precision. Earth's quantum ships moved in perfect coordination, their attacks targeted not to destroy but to systematically dismantle the Varaxian fleet's capabilities. Nanoscale weapons infiltrated crystalline hulls, disrupting systems with surgical precision. Alina's quantum lab had become a symphony of coordinated action. Phase 4 containment holding at 100%. Their secondary systems are attempting to compensate, but our quantum infiltrators are adapting faster than their automated defenses. The Varaxian fleet's response was desperate and predictable. Secondary weapons blazed to life, firing at Earth's revealed forces with enough power to shatter continents. But their energy beams scattered harmlessly against quantum shields, their targeting systems confused by fields that bent probability itself. "You should know," Sarah continued, addressing her Varaxian prisoners, "that we've been studying your weapons, your tactics, your very technology for decades. Every shot you fire, every defense you mount, was anticipated and countered before you even entered our solar system. From Mars orbit, humanity's hidden fleet emerged from its camouflaged hangars. From Europa, quantum torpedoes launched with precise trajectories. From the asteroid belt, mining ships transformed into weapon platforms, their industrial tools revealing themselves as devastatingly effective military hardware. General Torres opened a direct channel to Vex. Your empire's greatest mistake wasn't choosing to invade Earth, Supreme Commander. It was assuming that a species would advertise its true capabilities to the cosmos. Evolution teaches us that the most successful predators are often the ones that appear harmless until it's too late. The Varaxian response fleet, summoned by desperate emergency signals, emerged from faster-than-light travel at the edge of the solar system. They found themselves immediately ensnared in waiting quantum fields, their weapons and defenses analyzed and countered before they could fire a single shot. Director Matthews, Elena reported, "Quantum analysis confirms their backup fleet matches all projected specifications. Our containment systems are adapting to their attempts at breakthrough. Should I activate the final phase?" Matthews nodded grimly. "Execute Project Thunderstorm. Let's show them why humanity chose to hide its strength for so long." Across the solar system, space itself seemed to twist as humanity's quantum technology reached its full potential. The Varaxian ships found their very atomic structure being influenced by fields they couldn't detect, let alone counter. Their mighty weapons, capable of reducing planets to ash, fizzled against defenses that operated on fundamental levels of reality. "You see, Supreme Commander," Sarah explained to her captive audience, "humanity learned something from studying species like yours. We learned that true power isn't about showing strength. It's about choosing when to reveal it. Your empire has been conquering worlds by overwhelming them with displays of superior technology. We chose a different path. The battle, if it could even be called that, proceeded with methodical efficiency. Earth's forces systematically disabled Varaxian ships without destroying them, demonstrating a level of control that spoke of overwhelming technological superiority. It wasn't just a victory. It was a message to any other spacefaring civilizations watching from the darkness between stars. In his command center, General Torres allowed himself a small smile as reports of success flooded in from across the solar system. Humanity had spent decades preparing for this moment, hiding its advancement behind a carefully crafted mask of primitiveness. Now, as the mighty Varaxian Empire found itself helpless before Earth's true power, that patience had paid off in full. In the great chamber of the United Nations, now transformed by the revelation of its true quantum-enhanced capabilities, Supreme Commander Vex stood before the assembled representatives of humanity. The crystalline giant, once towering with imperial arrogance, now seemed diminished. Behind him, holographic displays showed the complete subjugation of the Varaxian fleet, their mighty ships held helpless in Earth's quantum grip. "The terms are simple," General Torres announced, his voice carrying easily through the enhanced acoustics. "The Varaxian Empire will immediately cease all aggressive expansion. Your technology will be audited by Earth's Quantum Oversight Committee, and you will submit to restrictions on military deployments near any developing civilizations." Elena Chen, now recognized as one of the architects of humanity's quantum defense network, monitored the proceedings through her neural interface. The quantum computers beneath her lab processed vast amounts of data, ensuring the Varaxians couldn't attempt any last-minute deceptions of their own. You would dare dictate terms to the Empire. Vex's translator conveyed his disbelief. We have dominated this sector for 10,000 years. And in all that time, Sarah West responded from her position near the podium. Did you ever consider that your very dominance might push other species to develop in ways you couldn't detect? That your pattern of conquest would teach younger civilizations the value of deception? Director Matthews stepped forward, activating a holographic display that filled the chamber with a map of known space. We detected your first scout ships 30 years ago, Supreme Commander, but they weren't the first alien vessels humanity had encountered. We've been watching the stars for far longer than you realized, learning from the mistakes of others who drew too much attention to themselves. The display shifted, showing the true extent of human settlement throughout the solar system. Hidden cities on Mars, vast industrial complexes beneath Europa's ice, quantum manufacturing facilities in the asteroid belt, all revealed now that there was no longer any need for deception. Your empire's fundamental error, Matthews continued, was assuming that technological advancement must follow a predictable, visible pattern. That a species would proudly display each step of their development, broadcasting their capabilities to the cosmos. Alina's quantum sensors detected increased neural activity among the Voraxian delegation. They're receiving transmissions from their homeworld director. The Emperor himself is watching. Good. Torres nodded. Let them all see what happens when you underestimate a species based on appearances. The holographic display shifted again, showing the quantum barrier now surrounding Earth's solar system. It was a demonstration not just of power, but of how completely humanity had surpassed the Voraxians' understanding of physics itself. We are prepared to be merciful, Sarah announced, more merciful than your empire has been to others. We don't seek conquest or domination. What we seek is a fundamental change in how spacefaring civilizations interact with each other. Vex's crystalline form shimmered with what humans had learned to recognize as intense emotion. You would reshape the order of the galaxy itself. Based on what authority? Based on the authority of a species that chose wisdom over pride, Torres replied. We could have revealed ourselves decades ago, challenged your empire openly. Instead, we watched, we learned, and we prepared. Now we stand ready not just to defend ourselves, but to protect other developing civilizations from the kind of aggressive expansion your empire represents. The quantum barriers around the solar system pulsed with controlled power, a reminder of humanity's hidden strength. Throughout the chamber, holographic displays showed Earth's forces systematically neutralizing the last pockets of Voraxian resistance without destroying a single ship. Your empire has a choice, Matthews stated. Accept these terms and join us in building a more stable galactic community, or face the consequences of continuing your current path. Remember, what you've seen of our capabilities is only what we've chosen to reveal. Alina's quantum systems detected the subtle shift in Voraxian communications that indicated internal debate at the highest levels. Their entire society was built on the premise of technological superiority. Facing a species that had so completely outmaneuvered them challenged their most basic assumptions. Perhaps, Vex finally spoke, his translator struggling to convey the complexity of his tone. The empire has grown. Complacent in its dominance, your species has demonstrated that there is still much to learn about the nature of power and progress. Sarah stepped forward. Then let this be the beginning of a new era. One where strength is measured not by the ability to conquer, but by the wisdom to know when conquest itself becomes obsolete. As the terms were formally accepted, humanity's quantum network detected similar revelations occurring across the galaxy. Other species that had hidden their true capabilities, inspired by Earth's example, began to emerge from their own carefully maintained disguises. The galaxy was transforming, not through war or conquest, but through the realization that true civilization meant moving beyond the need for either. In her quantum lab, Alina watched as the new reality took shape. Humanity had not just defended itself, it had fundamentally changed the nature of galactic civilization. The lesson was clear. In a universe full of predators, Sometimes the most powerful species was the one wise enough to hide its strength until the perfect moment. The age of conquest was ending. The age of hidden knowledge and calculated revelation had begun, and humanity, through patience, wisdom, and careful planning, had become not just a defender of Earth, but a guardian of a new galactic order.